In this video, I will be explaining the difference between let and var and const as well. So you can divide these three types of declarations in JavaScript in two categories. One is var and other is let and const. So main difference between these two categories is that var has been there since the JavaScript was invented. Okay, it has been there. It is like a grandfather of JavaScript. But this const and let, this were introduced in 2015, or it is also called as ES6. So main difference between this is that var and let, var creates the scope, that is global scope or function scope, and that is why till 2015 in JavaScript we were able to create only two types of scope, that is global scope or the function scope. Okay, and function can call another function, so it can create another scope, nested scopes. But again, the scope that is created within a function is restricted to that particular function only. Okay, so if you create any variable inside a function, you can't access that variable outside of that function. So that is where the var comes into picture. Now let us talk about the const and let and const. So basically let was introduced in 2015, as I said, and main reason why it was introduced is that in other languages like C Sharp and Java, we have got the block scope. So with the block scope, what happens is that whenever you put the curly brackets, another scope is created. For example, inside a function, if you have a if block or the else block, or even if you just put the curly brackets and write some code in that block, the variables created in that particular block using the let or the const are restricted to that specific block. Okay, you can't access the variables outside of that block. Even you are in the same function, you will not be able to access those variables that have been declared with the let and const in that block outside of that block. Okay, you can only access those variables inside that block, and that is the reason why this block scope declarations were created, const and let. And yeah, that is the main difference. And if you talk about the let and const, so as I said, let and const both create the block level scope. Main difference between this let and const is that let is like uh, if you create like declare an initialize of variable, and then you can do the assignment. Okay, like for example, let a is equal to 10, and then next line you can write a is equal to 15. But that is not possible with const. If you do const a is equal to 10, then you can't do a is equal to 20, like you can't do the reassignments. Const stands for constant. Once you declare and initialize, that's it. You can't do anything with that variable. You have to, like most prominent example for this const is like pi value is 3.14, and that is how you can use it. Basically something that doesn't change, const pi is equal to 3.14. And apart from that, it is similar to the let in terms of the scope. That's it. I think if you can explain this thing to the interviewer, you will be very happy. Thanks, bye.